showers of blessings today and always. John was a young man who was gifted by his grandfather a rare piece of antique, a lovely lamp. The grandfather had told John that this lamp was nearly worth $5,000. John was overjoyed and he had it displayed in his home. Years rolled on. Unfortunately, John had lost his business and fell into hard times. And he had no choice but to sell his grandfather's gift. So he announced in the papers, asking buyers to come forward to buy a beautiful, rare piece of antique. The first buyer walked in and John showed him the lamp. The buyer took the lamp eagerly and observed it closely and said, "This is not an original piece of antique. I do not want it." John was taken aback. How could this be? It was given to him by his grandfather and he could not accept that this would be a fake piece of antique. Anyway, he waited for a few more days and the second buyer walked in. And the second buyer observed it closely and he too said, "This is not an original piece of antique." And that he was willing to take it maybe for $500. John was not willing to sell it for just $500 and he said no. When the second buyer went away, John was puzzled. And then he thought, maybe grandfather too was cheated by someone. And he waited till the third buyer walked in. And the same thing happened. The third buyer too said, "This is not an original, but I'm willing to take it for $750. Now John thought $750 was better than $500. So he decided to sell it. So he takes the money and hands the lamp to the third buyer. Months roll on. One day, when John is walking down the marketplace, he sees an antique shop and something caught his eye. Yes, right there on the showcase, he saw the lamp that looked ditto what he had sold. He was surprised, so he went to have a closer look to ensure that it was the same lamp. Well, when he looked at it closely, it did look the same. But he was astonished to see the price tag because it was priced $7,000. Curious and anxious, he walks into the shop, goes to the shopkeeper and says, "I would like to see that piece of lamp." So the shopkeeper hands it to him and then John instantly turns it over because he knows his lamp had a mark underneath it. And to his surprise, sure enough, that very same mark was there and John was sure that this was his lamp which he had sold it for $750. So he asked the shopkeeper how he got it. And he told him his experience of having sold it for just $750. So the shopkeeper told him, "You have been cheated. This lamp is really worth $7,000. But there are many people who form a gang when they hear about things for sale. And all the three buyers who came to you were of the same gang. who were trying to cheat you of the lamb by telling you that it was a fake. John felt very disappointed. He felt disappointed, he felt hurt for having doubted the preciousness of the lamb that his grandfather had given him with so much of love. And he felt very bad for having allowed himself to be cheated. A profound lesson here. All of us, every one of us, hold something precious and valuable inside us. Each one of us should learn to recognize that and value that preciousness. If you do not value your own preciousness, who else will? Never doubt your value. You are very, very precious. Now just think about that one value that you hold within, which you would never trade under any circumstances. That is your treasure. Value it.